On the leather today, we're going to be making Lucifer sticks from the 1800s, or brimstone matches as they're called now. We have some sulfur that's molten on the bottom of a can, and this is fat wood that I've split out. So you just roll the fat wood in there, let the sulfur accumulate, cool, and you can do it again to get the amount of sulfur that you want on the ends. And this you'll be able to ignite with char cloth and maybe a spark if things are playing right. Once that's dipped and covered like that, then you can set it down and let it cool and go to your next one. You can use any wood in this. These go back as far as they've got recorded to the 1200s in China, and my guess would be on that they used a dried split bamboo, although I don't honestly know that for sure. In the 1800s, these were set up to light candles and lamps from a coal. You could get it ignited or with a piece of char cloth that you struck a spark into, and then you could set this on it and it would light it up and you could light your lamps and things along that line. They usually dip both ends so you could use it twice, and with the fat wood it would sit there and burn for quite a long time, which is kind of what you want. As you're moving about, it would provide a little bit of light to where you can see the light, what your bigger source of illumination or whatever you need a flame for. But they're not difficult to make. This is just the bottom of a can cut sitting over a tea candle. You want to get enough on it to where the coal that you're using to ignite it will melt a little bit in there and flame up a little, and that'll in turn light the rest of it, which will catch the fat wood. We got a little short one in here. We'll do it up good, and I'll go get some fat wood or some char cloth, and we'll ignite it in a second. But these are fairly easy to make. They don't smell as bad as burning the sulfur itself. There's a reason they call these brimstone matches though, because they smell like brimstone. They do pretty good at what they're meant to do. A lot of reenactors use them. They have a spot in the kit because they'll burn longer than your standard match by far. And if you're carrying flint and steel, these are a good combination to add in with it, as you can actually get a flame off of it fairly readily without having to work up a tinder ball. Or if you have an obnoxious tinder ball, which if you talk to anybody they've never had, you know, in the community, everything works out perfectly. But if you have an obnoxious tinder ball that kind of is a pain in the act to light, sometimes a flame source is what you need, and you can actually get this going fairly easy as opposed to a few other things. But you can see how easy these are to make. We're down to where I need to probably add some more sulfur, but we'll soak all this up as fine as we can. Once this is on here, the sulfur is actually fairly tough. It doesn't break off all that readily. I mean, if you beat it about, it will. But it's not horribly fragile like an egg or anything along that line. you can get this. Now if you blow this out, the sulfur will actually harden in this tin to where it'll stay, and then you can relight it again and it'll melt back down. It's kind of like pine pitch that way. It doesn't go bad. Well, I don't know if you get it wet, it probably wouldn't help it any. But you can take it down to the very last of it. We'll just see what it does. You can coat it down to virtually a little bit of nothing. You can see it building up. And that is a Lucifer. Sulfur match, brimstone match, whatever you want to call them. They're not self-igniting yet. These aren't, but they don't really have to be.